Oh, come on. It's not working. If only I knew how to fix this. Well, in fact, it's not as complicated as you may think. This controller works very similarly to other small electronics such as TV remotes and cell phones. It can be repaired or cleaned very easily and with household items. To accomplish this, we need to know three things. What tools do we need to disassemble and repair this? Secondly, how do I disassemble this, and how do I get into the internal parts so that I can repair or clean them? And lastly, how do I reassemble this so that everything is working just as it should be? Well, let's start off with what tools we need. First off, your main tool is going to be a screwdriver, and most small electronics require just a simple Phillips head, very tiny, about 0 millimeters, a 0 to 1 millimeter size. Will do just fine. And then we're also going to need some isopropyl alcohol. This will allow us to clean the controller safely, especially those electronic parts that can get damaged by water. Also, it evaporates very quickly, unlike water, so allow these parts to get right back into the controller in a fair amount of time. Secondly, we're going to need a power duster. This is going to allow us to wipe away that dirt very smoothly without having to blow and get our own spit onto our controller. We're also going to need a toothbrush. This will allow us to spread that isopropyl alcohol over the electronics and clean in those nooks and crannies where some dirt might be built up. We're also going to need some tweezers. This is going to allow us to take these small parts and put them in our bowl, which is another part we'll need. This will allow these small parts to go in here so that we don't lose them. It'll also allow us to have a water bath so that we can clean any plastic parts that are dirty, because those can be cleaned without isopropyl alcohol when we're just using soap. So then how do we disassemble this thing? The main way to get to this is by using our screwdriver and taking out usually the 4 to 5 screws that are on the back of a controller. And then we're able to take the back plate off, which I've already taken these screws out just for the sake of time. Then we can take our circuit board here. As you can see, this will usually have a screw keeping it to the front plate. We'll take that out, which I've already done. And this will allow us to see and expose the main board whilst not being connected to any other plastic parts. This is the main circuit board that is mostly electronic. There is some plastic holding some things together, but this is the main piece we need to be careful with. Trying not to get our hands on some of the other electronic parts. You can hold mainly the board and you'll be good. This is where we'll take our isopropyl alcohol. We'll take our toothbrush, dip that in the isopropyl alcohol, and boom, we can wipe this off and get any dirt. This will keep the circuit board safe while also cleaning it, keeping everything the way it should be. And then we will take our front plate, which has all the buttons in it still. And these are our plastic pieces that we'll put into our board. As you can see on the back side, these are the rubber pads that keep everything held intact. We can take this off using our tweezers. Boom. And then we can expose the internal plastic pieces, which we all take out, and then we put them in that bowl, which can be filled with some warm water and soap to then clean those parts. So after we've washed them, we will dry them. For the sake of time, I will not show that, although it's very simple. We lay it out on a plastic mat or a paper towel, and that'll allow the parts to be exposed to the air and evaporate any of that water. After they're fully dry, we want them to be fully dry without any water on them remaining, because if we put parts back into this controller that have water on them, that'll contaminate on the electric circuit board, damaging that, leading to more problems than we want. And so then, once we get everything put back into place, we'll take our circuit board, put that back in. We would then take a screw, using our screwdriver, boom, screw that circuit board back in, call that good. Then, depending on the controller, a PlayStation controller will typically use a battery, a rechargeable internal battery. We can put that back in there. An Xbox controller is typically going to have an external battery, which are your replaceable AA, AAA batteries. Once we accomplish that, we can then put on the back plate. And then we can take a screwdriver with additional screws and put back those 4 to 5, in this case 5 on this PlayStation 3 controller, 5 screws. And then we have properly reassembled it so that nothing is broken and everything is working as it should be. Thank you very much for watching how to repair and clean this controller. And now we can get back to gaming without having any issues. Sweet. We won. That's all it takes. It's not as intimidating as we initially thought. Thank you.